Hello, friends. My name is Steve, and welcome to Steve Talks Books. Thanks for coming by, watching my weekly update. It's where I talk about what I've been reading, what I'm going to read, what I won't get to, and everything else in between. If you'd like to connect with me, the best places are our forums at pagechewing.com. So we have all of our meetup discussions for books, for movies, for Dungeons and Dragons, we have a movie club, we have ARC submissions, we have author-specific sections, we have a bunch of stuff. That's where I've been most of my time when I am free to do that sort of thing, because the other platforms just haven't been much fun lately at all. I haven't been spending time on Twitter. I've just been a little burnt out from it, so I'm taking a breather from it for the most part. So that's the best place to find me. I can also be found on Vero at that 1MFer. That's where I post one picture per day and then other stuff. That's my platform of choice. It's one that inspires me. It doesn't really bring me down, seeing what everyone's posting and all the photography stuff. So that's the best place to find me. I can also be found on Steve Talks Movies here on YouTube if you're into that sort of thing. So let's get into what I've been reading. So I kind of feel like I kind of wondered, should I even record an update this week? Because there's not a whole lot to report back on what I've been reading. I'm still reading Ships of Merrier. It's the second book in the Wars of Light and Shadow series by Johnny Wirtz, and I'm really, really taking my time with this one. The chapters are very long. They're 80 to 100 pages or so. So when I open my Kindle to read a chapter, it's like 1 hour and 20 minutes left in chapter. I'm like, holy crap. So they're long chapters. We're doing 4 chapters every 2 weeks, and I'm just taking my time with it, trying to kind of soak it all in. It's not a book you want to rush through. There's lots of things in there that you don't want to miss. So I'm trying just to savor it. I'm trying just to enjoy it. I'm also reading Berserk, the manga. We did discuss volume 13 earlier today on Sunday, and that was quite the volume. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, enjoying that as well. And I also started The Burning Girls this week. This is a buddy read I have with my friend Jane from Lady Jane Books. I started the audio this week as I've been riding my bike, so it's been a nice companion in my ear when I'm riding. This book, so far, it's more of like a mystery. That's the impression I get so far, is it's more of like putting a mystery together. We know something's happening. It's more of we're discovering little things here and there, and then we're trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm starting to realize that I really enjoy when that's fine, and I'm not disliking it. I'm not having the worst time or anything. It's fine. It just feels very light to me. It feels very light. And maybe I've gotten used to all the different fantasy books and all the really heavy horror that I've been reading, all the really dense fantasy. And it just feels very light. But that's probably because compared to what I normally read, it probably is very light. So it is a bit of a change of pace. And I think the horror that really speaks to me is the emotional horror, like the grief, the one that really gets under your skin and really kind of digs in there and gets you. Like the quiet horror stuff is really what haunts me the most. The Burning Girls is fine so far. It's just not really, hasn't like gripped me the way that other books do, if that makes any sense. I hope that some of you can relate to that. But so far it's been fine. It's just a different change of pace for me than what I normally read, but I hear that it's a good book, so I'm optimistic about finishing it. So I'll continue to listen to that this week. I plan to finish The Ships of Merrier either today or tomorrow, and of course I will be continuing with Berserk. There's a few other books I hope to get to, like The Entangled Life. I just haven't had a chance to just yet, so I'm trying not to worry too much about it. But it's been a busy few weeks, so I'm trying to not rush through anything, trying to just savor things. So I'm going to talk more about that here in a minute, because I think it's important to talk about. But first, let's talk about what we did on the channel last week. Last week on the channel, we had the Friday conversation with our friends Robin from Bookends and Biscuits and Layla from Ballady Magazine. Chris Moen was also there, of course, and my friend and co-host P.L. Stewart was there. We had just a really, really easygoing conversation. We call ourselves the Expanse Crew because we've been reading the Expanse together for all these months. And it was just fun. It's a fun, relaxing time, just a way just to chat with friends, and which is every Friday. But it was fun to get the crew together and just have an easygoing chat and just talk about things that we maybe normally don't talk about. So that was it was just a fun way to get together with friends, and those are the weeks that I don't have to prepare a whole lot for guests, which sometimes is kind of nice just to jump on and go for it. So it was one of those weeks where I didn't have to prepare a whole lot, just hop on and talk to friends together. So also this week, it wasn't on my channel, but we did launch, or PL Stewart did launch his channel, which has lots of plans for it. I'm not sure how he finds the time to write, to read, to write reviews, and also now with the BookTube channel. But he is a special person, and I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job. But he did kick off his channel with Page Chewing episode 47 with repeat guest Philip Chase. I think he's only the second or third guest we've had make a repeat appearance on the Page Chewing. We've had several on Friday Conversations, but not too many on the Page Chewing, kind of the flagship or whatever you want to call it. We haven't had too many on that series. So it was neat to be able to talk to Philip again. It's always a pleasure to talk to Philip. It was neat to talk to him now after he's published his book, because we've talked before several times, and he's talked about his book and how he's writing it, getting edited, and he's exploring publishing, things like that. So it was nice to talk to him now and see what his experiences have been like in the past several months, to see how his perspective's changed and how his perspective has changed, if at all. And it's always a pleasure to talk to Philip. He's just such a wonderful person, like so many people in this community. I'm very fortunate to be a part of it and been able to connect with so many wonderful people, like all of you out there who are watching, of course. I really appreciate all of you who come by to watch every week. It means a lot to me. And thanks for spending time with me. This week, there wasn't a whole lot I had to report. I have been riding my bike quite a bit. I'm doing a race later this month in June. I think it's the last weekend in June. I'm doing a 50-mile ride, and there's like 5,000 feet of climbing, I think. So I'm trying to prepare for that. I'm riding my bike almost every day, at least 30 miles. So I'm trying to get prepared for that. And I have to do 50, so I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working up to it. So that's going to be a fun time. I'm trying to not have to get rescued out of that, because it's in the middle of nowhere. So I'm trying to not be that guy who's going to get picked up by a helicopter in the middle of nowhere and end up being like, I don't want to be that guy. So I'm trying to prepare for it, trying to get ready for it. So it's been lots of time on the bike, lots of time pedaling, like I have been the past couple of weeks. That's been taking up a lot of my time. So there was something I wanted to talk about, kind of related to how many books you've read. And I think some people, whether you watch BookTube or you have a channel, or you don't do either of those things, you probably wouldn't see this if you don't do either of those things. But regardless, we see a lot of people that talk about how many books they read, or I've read 40 books this month, or I read 30 books this month, or I read a 900-page book in an afternoon. It's like, why? Why would you want to do that? So something that I think some of us, and it's gotten in my head before too, it's something we've talked about with a few friends on different various streams that we've done, is the kind of the pressure we put on ourselves, and not just people who create content, just anyone just watching or absorbing the content, but just kind of the pressure we put on ourselves to kind of keep up and to kind of say, I should be reading like a book a day, or I can't read that. For me, I can't read that fast. I can't. I'm not a fast reader. I spend a lot of time reading, or I have been when I can, but I'm not a very fast reader. I would spend a lot of time reading. Now I have other things taking up my time that I'm trying to get ready for, like this bike ride. But sometimes it gets in your head, because like when I see like updates was like, I read 10 books this week, or I read a 900 page fantasy tome in a day. It's like, why would you want to do that? Like, are you going to even, how much of that are you going to absorb? I'm sure some people can do it, and some people are able to do it, but I don't know. It becomes like this clout thing. And I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that if you're one of those people who thinks about that kind of thing, and you feel inadequate, or you feel like you're not keeping up with everyone else, don't feel that way. Because even if you're creating content, or you're someone who just talks about what you read, or you like to review books, you like to do whatever, it doesn't necessarily have to be on YouTube. Don't let that stuff get to you. Don't feel like you aren't keeping up, or don't feel like there's a bar you have to meet, read at your own pace, enjoy what you're reading. If you want to take your time, take your time. If you want to speed read, then speed read. Do your thing. But if you are one of those people who see, I read 37 books this month or whatever, it's like, don't worry about that stuff. Just enjoy what you read and just have fun with it. And don't let that stuff get into your head. And I'm saying this for my own sake sometimes too, because it gets to me sometimes. But I'm trying to relax, trying not to let that stuff get to me. And I think it's important that we have those things that we kind of like, well, I'm not keeping up with, I can't read 36 books in a month or whatever. And I think some of us who create content put that pressure on ourselves, like we have to read to create content. But there's other things to talk about other than content. There's lots of other things to do other than reviews or whatever. So just because you weren't reading as fast doesn't mean that you can't create content that people will be interested in. So don't forget that. I think it's important to remind ourselves, all of us, myself included, because I get caught up in that crap too. So I'm saying this for my sake as much as everyone else's. But whether you're just a reader or you create content or whatever it is, don't feel like there's a standard to set. You set your own standard, you do you. And if you're creating content and you're creating fun content that you're passionate about, people will watch it and people will come and check it out. So don't let this stuff get to you when you see those kind of things. I've learned to, especially with the read I had with Daniel and Katerina for The Prince of Nothing and for the second, or for Aspect Emperor, I've learned that slowing down really enhances my enjoyment personally of what I'm reading. It gives you a chance to breathe, gives you a chance to kind of take it in and absorb it. And some people don't need that. Some people can fly through it, and that's cool. But for me, that's what I enjoy more. That's what I'm trying to do more now, is just slow down and just absorb it, take it in, and not worry so much about the numbers or I have to finish this book in a week or whatever it may be. So I think it's important to talk about. So hopefully someone out there can relate, and hopefully one of you or several of you, or can relate to what I'm saying. So I think it's important. So a couple of the things, lots of stuff we're planning over on the forums. So if you'd like to join us, we have Malazan coming up. We're doing a group read for that. We're doing, I will be restarting the Second Apocalypse series in August. We're deciding on that for reading pace and things and people who want to host. So we're figuring all that stuff out over on the forums. We have a bunch of stuff. We have Swamp Thing coming up. We have 30 Days of Night coming up, the graphic novels and the movies. We have lots of other things. So if you'd like to join us, it's all there on the forums. Come by and check it out. If you are a new member, it does take me a little bit to approve new members just to keep out the spammers and things. So sometimes it takes me a couple hours to approve your membership. But if you do register, just give me a little bit of time and I'll be sure to approve your membership. Also, we are looking for contributors for the front page WordPress site. We already have a few people who have volunteered to write whatever they want to write for the site. So just to fill it with content, and I want it to be kind of like a hub, like a community hub where everyone can contribute. And if you just want to share your content, what you're doing, that's cool too. If you want to just have another place to promote your stuff, if you don't want to contribute, but you want to promote your channel or your book or whatever on the site, get in touch with me on the forum. Let me know what you want posted, and I will post it for you to help boost your signal. So it's open to anyone. Just shoot me a DM over on the forums and let me know. Be happy to help out. So how is everyone else doing? How's your week? What are you reading, watching, or listening to? I made the mistake of getting into Bandcamp. Bandcamp.com, not a real Bandcamp. It's a whole nother set of jokes we can make for that. So anyway, for Bandcamp.com, I'm finding that you can buy CDs that are shipped to your front door cheaper than I can buy them from a local record store, which is kind of sad because I like to support local stores, but it's hard when you charge so much more than I can get them other places. So I have been dipping into that. There was a thread over on the forums about things we're picking up. The last one I bought was Rollo Tomasi. I forget the name of the album, but I'll post a thread down below. Spending lots of cash at Bandcamp.com for digital albums, lesser known bands, and things like that. So check that out if you're interested. It's been my wallet has been having a very good time. Speaking of my wallet not having a good time, I did pick up Diablo IV yesterday. and I think I may regret it. This is like, these are the kind of games I can be really, I can be really absorbed by this kind of stuff, and I try to stay away from these kind of things when I can, because I know myself and I can get a little carried away sometimes with this stuff. So I decided to try it out. I haven't played a video game in 2 years. It's been a long time. So I thought this may be the time when I get back into it. So if you are playing Diablo 4, you want to join in, you want to go on a group or whatever, I don't know how it works. I think you can play with like a group of people. Let me know, because I'm playing on PC. Not sure if there's crossplay, but if you're interested, again, we're discussing it on the forums. So come by and check it out, and let us know you want to join us. I think a few of us are planning to join up and kind of, get each other killed. So, so anyway, hope you're having a great week. Hope you had a great week. Hope you're having a great week coming up. If you aren't, then just hang in there. Things will improve, because they always do. And if I can help with anything, of course, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Be someone you need someone to listen or whatever it may be. I'm here to help if I can help at all. But hope everyone's doing great. Let me know how your summer plans are coming. It's getting warm out there, so it's a whole new, all these new activities that we haven't been able to do now. We can suddenly do. Just be sure and wear sunscreen, because that's important. So let me know how you're doing down below. What are you reading, watching, or listening to? I'd love to hear about it. And hope you all have a great week. Thank you so much for coming by, spending your time with me. It means a lot to me. And I do have some reviews and some other things planned very soon. Just getting all my notes together, and I'm going to do probably a batch of reviews for different books that I've been reading or different series. So those are coming down the pipe. I've just been putting it off, so I need to get back on track. So until then, until next time, we will talk to you soon.